Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Food Face-Off, and today I got for you here a Beaver Tails edition. Now we're going to look at 8 different toppings, the most popular toppings you can find at the Beaver Tails location, and we're going to dive right into this tournament treat and see which one's the best. Alright, new episodes means 3 new criteria. We got, first of all, the looks aspect. So this is going to be aesthetics. So simply, how good these look out of 10. Nice and simple. Secondly, beavers. Beavers like to build dams. Dams, have water behind them. So we're going with how mouth-watering these beaver tails are. So that's obviously the taste factor. And finally, we're going with how unique each beaver tail is, and maybe how unexpected the flavor profile is. Alright, let's not waste any time. I sliced off a decent chunk so you guys don't have to see me, bite into the whole entire dough. Here we're going to start off with the Killaloo Sunrise. So first of all, let's see. Aesthetics, it's literally the original one with just a little bit of cinnamon and lemon. So, it's a nice golden rich color, but all of them are going to be nice and golden rich. So I'm going to have to give it, I think, a 4 in aesthetics. Now, let's see how mouth-watering this is. Obviously, I'm going to discount the fact that they're slightly cold and slightly, I guess, a little dry because, takeout. But otherwise, the cinnamon is a nice profile. I like the lemon, creates a nice zesty touch at the end. But other than that, it's something that's quite, I guess, subtle. It's not gonna blow your mind, but it's, it's gonna do the job. You're gonna be like, okay, it's not too bad of a beaver tail. So I'm gonna give it, I think, an average grade. I'll give it a 6, I reckon. 6 for how mouth-watering this is. Now, uniqueness, like I said before, it's essentially the original one with just a little bit of cinnamon and lemon, so it's not really that unique. I'm gonna have to punish it a bit. I'm gonna give it, I think we'll give it a 5. Now, moving on to the triple trip. Now, this one has, I believe, peanut butter Reese cups or some form of peanut butter with a nice hazelnut paste. Now, this looks very, very rich. So first of all, looks, it's the typical colors you'd associate with Reese's Buttercup. So you got the orange, the yellow, and then the nice rich brown. So looks, honestly, looks very appetizing. I'm gonna give it we got good contenders afterwards. I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 on looks. Now, how mouth-watering this is. Very rich. I'm gonna struggle, let's say I order one, I'm gonna struggle to finish that. You're probably gonna need to split it with somebody else. But other than that, based off that simple bite, I'm gonna have to give it, I reckon I'm gonna give it a 9. So it's gonna be 9 on how mouth-watering this is. Final category, how unique this is. I feel like nowadays, a lot of desserts, cereals, all that type of stuff, Reese's has made its way into everything. So it is interesting, don't get me wrong, it's a little different from your usual chocolate peanut butter ones, but then again, it's nothing too out of the box. So I'm gonna give it, I reckon, somewhere down the middle, maybe a 7. This brings the total of both of these candidates here and over here, and this means that the triple trip blows our Killaloo Sunrise out of the water. Okay, diving into our second bracket. So we got our 3rd seed versus our 4th seed. We got Cocoa Vanille versus Maple. Now, Maple, obviously maple syrupy, so super sticky, and that's what we're gonna start off with here. Okay, looks, so aesthetics of the Maple. Honestly, super glossy. I don't know if you guys can catch that on the camera, but it looks very glossy under the light. And you get really quite maybe different layers of caramel too, because you get very dark caramel in the middle and lighter on the outside. So maybe they used 2 different caramels, I'm not exactly too sure, with a little bit of dusting of powdered sugar on top. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna give it, I think, a similar color, I guess, variety, but I'll give it a 7 in looks. We'll say 7 for looks. Alright, mouth wateriness. Now, take a quick bite. That is very sweet and very sticky. But it's not too bad, because the beaver tail itself is usually, sometimes quite oily. So I think that maple syrup cuts through quite well. Nice balance. Decent flavor profile. I like the mixture of both types of caramels and the powdered sugar on top. I'm going to give it, I think another solid 7. It's doing good so far. It's holding its piece. Now, how unique this is. We're in Canada. Maple syrup is not exactly the most unique thing. However, don't get me wrong, it's delicious. But in terms of uniqueness, a lot of Canadians are gonna hate me for this, but it's nothing out of the blue. You put maple syrup in practically everything here. So I'm gonna give it a 4 is a little harsh, I think. And then give it a 4. Okay, we're gonna move on quickly before the haters comment. Okay, cocoa vanilla. Now, Oreo topping. I'm gonna get a piece in the middle this time, just so we can get that nice, I guess, full topping in the bite. So first of all, looks. Now this one has a lot of color contrast, as you can see. Rich dough, dark rich chocolate, white almost like a condensed milk form, and the Oreos on top. Looks really good. I'm gonna give it, honestly, I think this might be the best looking one so far. So I'm gonna give it, let's just take a look at the, oh, there's some nice looking ones too coming up. I'm gonna give it a, I think I'm gonna give it an 8. We'll give it an 8. All right, let's take a bite. That's very crunchy. The toppings are very crunchy. Of course, it's slightly, I guess, not really watered down, but because of the traveling and all that, it's a little like mixed with the chocolate sauce for a while. But I can imagine if this was ordered straight and fresh, you would get such good texture contrast. Honestly, delicious. The melted chocolate and the condensed milk, or some form of like, I'm pretty sure it's condensed milk. Very sweet. A little maybe too sweet, but I think the crunch distracts you a little bit from that, so I think I'm gonna give it a solid 7, equal in mouth wateriness. Now, unique, I like this one a little more than this one, as in I feel like it pops off the menu a little bit more in my opinion, especially visually. So I'm gonna give this, we'll give it a Oreo condensed milk on a piece of donut. We'll give it a 7. I think a 7 is fair. So this brings the total of both of these candidates here and over here, and that means that the Oreo cocoa vanilla goes through. Right. Okay, moving on to the second side of our tournament tree. So this is our third bracket. We got seed number 5 and 6. So we got Avalanche versus Hazelnut Amore. Now this is, we're gonna start off with the Hazelnut Amore. I think it's the more, I guess, traditional one in quotation. It's just Nutella essentially on a beaver tail. Nothing too fancy. We're gonna see. It looks very decadent, very rich. Appetizing, so we'll give it a solid, that looks good. 6, we'll say 6. Because it's nice and simple, you know, 6. Clean 6, like a good 6, not a bad 6, a good 6. Alright, mouth wateriness, let's see. Hazelnut is a nut. Usually when it's a spread, it becomes quite oily. The dough itself is oily also. That's oil on oil. Very rich, but very good. Honestly, you know, mouth wateriness, it's up there, it's pretty good. I'm gonna have to give it, I think, a solid 8, because you know your mouth does water because it's craving water because of the oil, but that's the category we chose, so that's why it scored an 8. Now, uniqueness, similar to the other two that didn't make it through, it's one of the more traditional flavors, so I think it's gonna get a little bit of a punishment when it comes to this category. So I'm gonna have to give it, is it a little more unique than like a cinnamon with lemon? I don't even think so. I think a 5. Middle of the road 5. I think that's fair for Hazelnut Amore. Alright, moving along to Avalanche. Now, this one straight off the bat looks crazy. You got literally every single color. You got rich golden, almost caramelized, I'm not even sure what that is yet, almonds maybe, and then a rich caramel drizzled through with a really rich white, probably condensed milk again. It looks crazy. It looks literally like you know, like its name. It lives up to the name. It's an avalanche. So looks, I'm gonna give it, wow, it just looks so rich. Like you would want to take just a mouthful of that. So I'm gonna give it 8. Just because it's slightly messy. You're gonna understand the reasoning why when we come to the next bracket. It looks really good. It's probably in the top 3 of the ones that we have today, but I'm gonna give it an 8. Now, mouth wateriness. Let's grab a bite from the middle. Toffee with caramelized almonds and caramel on top with condensed milk. It's literally perfect, a perfect mouthful. Super gooey. Weirdly enough, it's very sweet, but it's not the type of sweetness that, like, you know, you're kind of sick of that you need to drink instantly. Like, you would dive into seconds before getting water. So honestly, mouth wateriness, I'm gonna give it 9. I think we'll give it a 9. I think that's fair. I really enjoyed this one. I think this is my favorite one so far. 9. So super strong favorite, arguably the biggest favorite so far. Now, uniqueness. I think this is something very out of the ordinary when it comes to the ones we've seen so far. Of course, it's not like a crazy flavor profile that you've never heard of before, but with like, I guess, considering the fact, like, within the 8 contenders we have, I'm gonna have to give it, I think, a 7 for uniqueness. No, a solid 7. So I think we got a clear winner, but just to recap, we got here the score for the hazelnut and more, and here for the Avalanche, and clearly the Avalanche goes through to the next round. Okay, moving on to now the final bracket of our tournament tree. We got Brownie versus Strawberry Cheesecake. Now, quick correction, Avalanche, when I said condensed milk, it's actually a cheesecake base, which is most of these white, which I call it condensed milk, okay? Okay, over. Anyways, moving on. We're gonna start off with, I think we always started off with the chocolate one, so we're gonna start off with the strawberry one. All right, straight off the bat, this is the most vibrant one on the menu. I don't care what everybody says, it's the one I think that's the most appealing. 10. Done. Moving on, mouth wateriness. It's actually, is it underwhelming? I feel like because I judged it so high on looks, I've got to be a little harsh. Like, the flavor does not match the look, in my opinion. The graham, like, powdered cookie crumb thing in the middle, for me, has no taste, or the syrup is just so overwhelming. I think the strawberry syrup jam is actually not necessarily that good. It's too overwhelming as a flavor component. You don't have the cheesecake, aspect. If I blindfolded myself and tasted it, I'll tell you, strawberry jam, Beaver tail. A bit of a letdown on mouth wateriness, but don't get me wrong, it's still good. I'll give it a 6. I'll give it a 6. Now, uniqueness, straight off the bat, it's the only one that's fruity. The lemon doesn't really count on the previous one. Only one that's fruity, a little more on this, I guess, red, vibrant side. You don't really get that color profile, so it's unique in that sense too. It's cheesecake, in quotation, and it doesn't, have chocolate. So I think uniqueness, it's gonna score quite high. I'll give it a 9 in uniqueness. 9 in uniqueness. Very strong score so far. Alright, brownie. Now, straight off the bat, remember when I said the Avalanche one looked a little messy? This looks like the clean version of it. Very clean, very nice look. Is it worthy of a 10 also? Same as the strawberry one? I think it looks really good. I think it looks very clean. But yeah, maybe we'll downgrade it a bit in uniqueness. I think I'm gonna have to give it a 10 in looks too. I think these two are the most aesthetically pleasing Beaver tails we have today. So, quickly, moving into mouth wateriness. That's good. However, it's very dry. Like I said before, hazelnut spread with the Beaver tail, oil and oil. Creates a very oily texture. You really want water. Added onto it, you got a white chocolate, a firm texture, and the brownie, very crumbly, quite dry. One bite and you're sort of like, my mouth is not watering. My mouth is like the desert right now. It needs water. So in that context, I'm gonna have to give it. It's sad because I actually enjoy this one more than I do this one. But this is, the grading criteria. I'm gonna give it a 5. 5 in mouth wateriness. Now, uniqueness. Like I said, I'm gonna have to punish it. Although it looks amazing, it's very chocolate heavy. And you have already 4 other chocolate tea based items on the menu, so it's not, it's nothing crazy. It doesn't stand out that much on the menu. But it looks nice. 6, I'm gonna give it a 6. 6, this brings the total of the strawberry cheese right here and the brownie right over here. And that means the cheesecake goes through.
Go.
Alrighty, jumping into the semifinals, you know what it means. Semifinals, new round means new judging criteria. Now, we got beaver tail theme, obviously tournament tree, so we gotta go with the beaver sort of themed criteria. Now we're gonna go with sturdiness. Beavers like to build sturdy dams. So how sturdy these toppings are. So street food, you want it to be, easy to hold, you don't want it to break everywhere. So that's gonna be one of the criteria. Secondly, how fashionable these are. So we're gonna take a little bit of a joke out of this. We're gonna take, I guess, our beaver tail and imagine it on a beaver. So which tail would look the most fashionable? All right, jumping straight in, we got Oreo one, which is called, what's it called again?
Avalanche.
No, Avalanche is topping.
Oh.
Cocoa.
It's vanilla. It's really good. Cocoa vanilla.
Cocoa vanilla and triple trip. Okay. Alright, moving straight in, we got cocoa vanilla versus triple trip. Now, first off, sturdiness. A very simple shake test. Let's see if everything sticks. Let's grab both sides, let's be fair. A couple crumbs there and here, but I think the melted chocolate actually does this beaver tail. What am I saying? Okay, I'm gonna reword that. I'll cut it myself. I think the melted chocolate actually holds everything really well, combines everything really nicely, so nothing's really shaking off. So, honestly, quite sturdy. I'm gonna give it a 9. 9, actually no, it's not even a rating out of 10. We have to compare both of them. Ignore that. Okay, now, let's see, sturdiness of our triple trip. Nothing is falling. It is very gooey though, so maybe a little hard to handle, but it's holding. Obviously, if you shake it a little hard, it's gonna fall. I think in terms of sturdiness, simply because this one is so like liquidy and gooey, I'm gonna have to give it to the cocoa vanilla. Cocoa vanilla takes the first criteria. Sturdiness goes to cocoa vanilla. Now, fashionability. What would look better on a beaver? I'm always a fan of vibrant colors. Like I said before, the Reese's color, so like, you know, everybody instantly knows what it is. The orange, the yellow, the dark brown. I'm gonna have to give it to the triple trip because it's a nice, you know, fashionably got nice sort of like pieces of chocolate. It's nicer than this one that looks like it just got crushed. Okay. And now that we got a tiebreaker, this means we gotta go, obviously, to our wow factor, and this is completely biased. So, which one do I want to send through? Which one do I like more? Let's take another quick bite of both, just so we're completely fair. Reese's going through. The TT thing. TT thing's very good. This one's going through. Moving on to the second semifinals. Okay, moving on to the second semifinals. Who will join the triple trip in the finals? Will it be the Avalanche or will it be the Strawberry Cheesecake? Now we got 2 cheesecake flavors. It's gonna be really interesting because their, I guess, consistency and the way they're structured should be rather similar. Shake test. You're walking in the street. You want to grab a beaver tail. You're walking very fast up a very rocky road. It's holding, you know. Actually, it's going right. It's so soggy. The jam itself is so runny, but you know what? It's actually not. It's okay. It does the job. You know, if it's a dam, it does. It's a little bit of leak, but it's fine. All right, other side of the tournament, we got Avalanche. Now this, because it's with toffee, it's much stickier than the jam. That means nothing's falling. Much more sturdy. So I think, in terms of structure, this is the better cheesecake one. Avalanche wins the structure point. Now, fashionability. You got a vibrant red versus... Sadly, it's not the nicest looking color profile in terms of fashionability. Obviously, it just looks like the after effects of having eaten this. So, I'm gonna give it to the vibrant red one as the fashionable point. I think a beaver would look damn good with that tail. So that was the point. Means we got a wow factor tiebreaker once again. I already talked so much trash about this one. I'm gonna have to send the Avalanche through to the finals. That's it, we got our finals, we're gonna jump right into it. We're now here at the finals of our beaver tail food face-off, and we got the triple trip versus the Avalanche. Now, the finals, new criteria, obviously because it's a new round. We're out of ideas. I'm gonna be straight up, we're out of ideas. There's no more puns I can make. I made them all in the previous rounds, I forgot to save them for the final one. So we're gonna go with damminess. Which one of these tails makes you go, damn, the loudest? That's gonna be the criteria. What does it mean? I don't know either. Honestly, look, okay, we're just gonna go quickly. Looks, like I said before, I love the multicolor of this one. This one looks a little messy, but looks very attractive. Okay, taste. I'm gonna quickly remind myself of how each one tastes. We're in a bit of a situation. This one has a very good initial taste, but it like becomes quite, I guess, as if it's stuck to the like roof of your mouth. So it's more like a, like, you know, it mellows out a little bit. While this one, on the other hand, the aftertaste is amazing because you got that crunchy, so it's more of a, damn. I don't know. You know what? Like most of our food face-off, it's completely biased. None of this is fair. It's obviously just my opinion. So I think I'm gonna go with the Avalanche as the winner of this episode's food face-off. Let me know in the comments which one you would have put through. If you've ever tried the Beaver tails, because I know that they're quite exclusive in Canada only. And if you were to design, let's say, your own Beaver tail, what toppings would you put? Once again, always make sure to always put the comments of different video ideas you guys want to see. I've got a huge list compiled about, I think, 25 video ideas for this specific series, so we will get to your ideas one day. That's it from me, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.